Ko itagat eng logoiwekab emet kong'ete Kass TV ne somanun Kwane Bernard Tanoe. Kakonde siyet President William Ruto bilishek somok koek ng'atutik chetokchinigei kokanapta ribsetab timwogik koboto kirindaetab nyasutik ak kapcheitaetab rabinik koba counties. Bilishek choto somok kainde siyet Ruto eng State House Nairobi ko nebo National Disaster Risk Management Bill netokchinigei kokimit tetutik choto chebo ribsetab timwek eng emet koboto noto nebo Forest Conservation and Management Amendment Bill 2025 nekonoptoi tetutik choto chebo ribsetab timwogik ak noto nebo Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill 2025 netokchinigei kokimit pcheitaetab rabinik koityi counties chebo emoni. Kamitei anan kaborionji kandeetab siyet eng bilishek choto ofisaek cheechen chebo serikali cheboto minister nebo ribsetab kalyet Kipchumba Murkomen ak kandoik alak.
I now invite the Clerk of the National Assembly to present the vellum copies of the bills for your consideration and assent.
Instructions of the Speakers of Houses of Parliament to place before you the vellums for your assent.
Good morning.
The bill has traveled a long legislative journey in Houses of Parliament, initially having been introduced in Parliament by the then chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and member for Kikuyu constituency in the last Parliament. Majority party bill in this Parliament. The Senate, Your Excellency, and the Senate made amendments to it, which initially the two houses disagreed. We have a bill providing for the manner of dealing with national disasters. It has always been a lacuna in our law. And the bill categorizes disasters in three categories: a national disaster, a disaster at a county level, and a disaster that can happen in more than one county. The bill also provides that in case of disasters of a huge magnitude, the President can announce a situation of national disaster and therefore require all state resources for purposes of management of the disaster to be channeled towards management of that disaster.
Excellency, sir, I now invite you to hand over the copies of the Act to His Excellency, the Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Attorney General for publication into law, and to the Cabinet Secretaries present for implementation.
Eng komastake ko koinde siyet President William Ruto koshinet noto nebo ketoi kebeberwek chekiyoen mung'aret chenotin mising ko County Aggregation and Industrial Parks eng counties 16 ole kotestai igoratak eng State House Nairobi. Komwa President Ruto kole tokchinigei tetutionotok kokanaptoi bandab tai neo amu imuktechin kobotik ak chemung'arainik konyor kebeberwek cheyoen mung'aret asikwo barak uchumi ak bandab tai. Komwa Ruto kole agoi nguno ko kokeboisie rabinik cheite bilion 8.5 eng taunetab kebeberwek choto ole koyomis kole wendi serikalinyi koboisie ak serikalishekab county eng kasuldaetab tetutik choto.
The signing of these agreements by 16 counties participating in this phase further strengthens the partnership between the national government and the county governments in driving industrialization at the grassroots. The County Aggregation and Industrial Parks Program is one of the most consequential economic transformation initiatives under our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Its objective is simple but far-reaching: to take industry closer to the people, unlock the productive potential of our counties, and ensure that every part of Kenya participates meaningfully in national growth and prosperity. Once operational, And in the coming weeks, I will be operationalizing many of them with the participation of counties. These industrial parks will significantly expand value addition to agricultural and natural resources at the county level, reduce post-harvest losses, create jobs for thousands of young people, expand market access for local products, attract private investment into manufacturing and agro-processing, strengthen exports, and enhance the competitiveness of our counties and by extension, our country. We have a big rollout, which I have worked with you to build markets. And the markets we have in place are very modern markets now, as you have seen. And therefore, those markets will be the places where we are going to take the processed, goods from these county aggregation industrial parks. It is time we improved our packaging. It's time we improved our presentation. We have cold rooms in county aggregation industrial parks. We also have cold rooms in our markets. So post-harvest losses can now be managed much more efficiently. And that way, we can put more money in the pockets of our farmers and put more money in the pockets of our traders. Because that way, we minimize losses that come as a result of lack of infrastructure. This is how national government and county government are supposed to be working, really. I know we have finished on the big subject that was there on our bursaries. I hope now every county can disburse their bursaries because we have set up the framework to do that. This is not about boundaries of which government starts where and stops where. This is about service. It's about the people. And the people want to be served by government. And government is both national government and county government. And you have seen the tremendous progress we have made when we work together, when we create synergy. It's a win-win for both levels of government, and more importantly, for the people, because then we get to get stuff done without too much bureaucracy and too much start and stop. We make it seamless.
Yekitestai ko kakokimit Minister nebo tilyandit emotinwek chebo sang ne ine kora ko Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi kole tesetai emetab Kenya kokonoptoi tetutik chebo kirindaetab miondab Ebola noto tesetai koletogei eng emetab DRC komat kochut emetab Kenya. Kosubkei ak Mudavadi ko tesetai emetab Kenya konomegei eun ak emotinwek cheu America eng kirindaetab mionoto bo Ebola noto tesetai koibu kaimutik eng emetab DRC ole agoi nguno ko kokobet sobonwek biik chesire 200. Kongekas akobo ng'alaletab Mudavadi kotinygei ak tetutikab serikali chebo kirindaetab miondab Ebola.
Last night alone, the President of Kenya had to convene an update session with key development partners and the international community and the UN because of the threat of Ebola, and to see how again we can collaboratively work with the international community to protect Kenya, but also to be a responsible member of the international community. As we have the UN here, apart from the expansion that you all know is going on, when the President and the Secretary General led in the groundbreaking ceremony for the expanded facility, I think it's important for you to know that the same UN is also in conversation with Kenya so that Kenya can become not just the headquarters for the union, entity that is here, but also to become literally the headquarters for humanitarian and logistical programs of the UN in the global south. That is a very, very important objective. And it will not work if we don't pull together. Part of this conversation was to see how we can collaborate. We are lucky so far that we don't have any Kenyan who is affected, but we should not pretend that it may not happen. And we should not pretend that we may not be called, we may not be required to help in the
Gebe agoi ministry noton nebo somanet nemite Jogoa House eng taunitab Nairobi ole tesetai minister nebo somanet Migos Ogamba kokonu logoiyot kotinygei ak nyasutietab maat notok kobit eng dormitory nebo sukulitab Utumishi Girls Academy eng Gilgil eng Nakuru County nekobit eng Kimbot nekoekchini betutab amut ole koibet sobet lagok cheite 16 ak kikoten alak 79 ko nengololi ko minister nebo somanet Julius Ogamba kokonu report anan logoiyot kotinygei ak kokoit chikilisiet ak tetutik alak kotinygei ak nyasutyonoto.
You are called on a short notice and you've been able to come. I'm here with the chairman of the Commission for TSC and will be issuing a joint statement with respect to the events that occurred yesterday. As you are aware, we had the unfortunate incident of the fire in Utumishi, where we lost 16 learners, and we continue passing our condolences to the families of the bereaved, and we continue wishing the learners who are still in hospital quick recovery. So we have a joint statement that we are going to issue to just update you of the current status of where we are from yesterday. And we'll continue calling you and we'll continue giving you updates as this matter progresses. So I propose that I'll read this joint statement and then thereafter we'll take a few questions from you for clarifications and then we'll proceed from there. So ladies and gentlemen, as indicated yesterday, there was a tragic fire incident at Utumishi Girls Academy in Gilgil Sub-County, Nakuru County. At the time of the incident, a total of 808 learners were within the school premises. By last evening, all the learners had been accounted for. Most unfortunately, 16 learners lost their lives in the incident. The bodies of the departed souls have been transferred to Naivasha Sub-County Hospital mortuary for preservation and DNA identification. Parents and guardians are therefore been directed to the facility for purposes of the DNA testing. 79 learners suffered injuries of varied degrees, and 7 of the injured learners are still in hospital undergoing treatment, while the rest have been treated and discharged. These 7 were airlifted yesterday from Gilgil, and they are now being treated in Kenyatta National Hospital. Preliminary investigations have established the following. Number 1, the tragic fire was an act of arson. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations is currently holding and questioning 8 learners who are persons of interest in this investigation. The investigation will ascertain the individual roles in the planning and execution of this heinous act. Those found culpable will be charged in accordance with the provisions of the Penal Code and other relevant laws. We have indications that they will be presented to court as early as Tuesday next week. Number 2, the school did not adhere to the safety requirements as stipulated in the school safety manual and the basic education regulations. In particular, there was congestion in the dormitory and one exit door was locked contrary to the prescribed safety requirements. Number 3, 2 teachers were informed of this planned unrest by a section of Form 3 learners. However, these teachers did not take appropriate action before the arson, despite having been informed of this incident beforehand. Consequently, and in view of the foregoing findings, we have taken the following actions. Number 1, the Board of Management of Tumishi Girls Academy has been dissolved for failing to ensure compliance with the school safety manual and the basic education regulations. Number 2, the Teacher Service Commission has been appraised of these findings and is taking appropriate and immediate disciplinary action against the principal for failing to ensure compliance with the school safety manual and basic education regulations. And the teachers who failed to take action despite having been informed of the planned unrest will also be subjected to disciplinary proceedings by the Teachers Service Commission. Number 3, investigations are ongoing to establish other aspects of negligence on the part of the officers from the Ministry of Education and the Teachers Service Commission. Appropriate disciplinary and other legal action will be taken against officers found to have been negligent in their duties. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall continue providing information and updates as these investigations continue. That is our statement as of today, as an update from yesterday. And now I'll take a few of your questions for clarifications or any other issue, then we'll proceed from there. Yes. That have indicated that the investigations are ongoing to determine the negligence or otherwise of any of our officers from the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission, and action, legal and disciplinary, will be taken against them depending on the outcome of those investigations. So it is ongoing. Remember, this is an incident that occurred just yesterday, and we are working on the preliminary reports. As we get them, we'll continue taking action and we'll keep you updated on the steps that we've taken. Yes?
The broader context, when does this end? Because 2 years ago we had in the Russia.
Ko noto ko Minister nebo somanet Migos Ogamba nekakonu logoiyot kotinygei ak kokoit chikilisiet kotinygei ak nyasutietab maat noto kobel dormitory nebo sukulitab Utumishi Girls Academy eng county nebo Nakuru kebeberta nebo Gilgil, ole eng nokindo kityo kotinygei ak tuguk chekakomwa Ogamba kole katinyegei nyasutyonoto ak kipsomaninik chekotoi maat chekobel kotoi maat akobel dormitory noto, ole kamwa kora kole maityi magutik choto chebo kirindaitab nyasutik sukulinoto, akunoto keipchini kakwautik kandoinatetab sukulinoto kole kakong'at kebut board noto nebo sukulinoto kosub ak nemayai kiy koker kole kaisub anan kaityi magutik choto chebo kirindaitab nyasutik sukulinoto, koboto nekamwa kole kakenyorchi lelutik principal nebo sukulinoto ak konetik alak chekamwa kole ngandan kokikochi logoiyot kotinygei ak tetutiet nebo kipsomaninik nebo kotoi belsetab sukul anan kongelelchi kotoi strike, komoib kakwautik alak tugul, ak kounoto ko kakonoisechi kibagengeitab TSC asikotoi koibchi kakwautik konetik choto somok. Ole kamwa Ogamba kole kipsomaninik chekakenam chekotinygei ak taunetab maat ak kotetat kirwokchi eng kapkirwok eng betutab kwoeng kasi, ko choto ko kityo eng nokindo kotinygei ak tuguk choto kamwa Ogamba kong'ololjini sirikab logoiwek eng ofisinyi nemitei Jogoo House eng county nebo Nairobi. Ko kitesetai kesubi kotinygei ak noto asinyoru eng logoiwek chok chemitei tai. Kobate no amache kebe agoi county noto nebo Kericho County ole tesetai graduation netai nebo sukulitab Belgut TTI, ole taotab kondit eng igoratak ko minister nebo somanet noto ko Kipchumba Murkomen. Ko kounoto ngebe kekas akobo kit netesetai eng igoratak bo graduation nebo Belgut TTI.
Getting opportunities for our trainers. We would not have come this far were it not for the support of the government and other stakeholders. I wish to sincerely thank the Member of Parliament, Honorable Nelson Koech. He has really been a great help to us. His unwavering support for this institution through NGCDF, and many trainees have benefited from the sponsorship program, including driving school courses and technical training opportunities. This support has strengthened our capacity to provide practical training and expanding the opportunities for young people in this region. He has actually been sponsoring students, together with also the MCAs and the county government have sponsored students and has enabled us to expand the institution to this capacity and also the infrastructure. To the class of 2026, you carry the pride of being the first graduates in the history of this institution. As you step into the next phase, remember the skills you have acquired are powerful tools that can open doors and opportunities. Your skills actually are very useful and is important for industrialization. The Board of Governors remain fully committed to strengthening this institution through strategic partnership, sound governance, and continued investment in quality training. We look forward to continued support from the Ministry of Education, development partners, and other well-wishers and centers of excellence that will enable Belgut TTI to reach even greater heights and meet demand of the growing population. On behalf of the Board of Governors, I congratulate the class of 2026 for this important achievement. May the knowledge, skills you have gained here guide you towards success and meaningful contribution to the society. Congratulations and thank you so much. Yeah, it's now my humble duty to be able to invite the regional director to be able to continue from there. Can we appreciate him, please?
Ko noto ko graduation nebo Belgut TTI netesetai eng county nebo Kericho ole miten minister nebo ripsetab kalyet eng emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen kou taotab kondit. Kongeker logoiwek alak ole kakomongke ng'amutik chebo konyoisetab konyek akosom serikali ak stakeholders alak kotes koitetab rabinik chekitobonjini tetutik chebo konyoisetab konyek amu kokwa barak mising koitetab biik chetindoi koimutik choto bo konyek, mising ko koimutiet noto nebo cataract noto ibu koratet eng biik chetindoi mionotok, kamwa Dr. Monica Bitok ne inendet kondochin kebeberta nebo konyoisetab konyek eng ministry noto nebo konyoiset kole chechang eng koimutik chekikoim biik chechang ko miondo noto nebo cataract ole nyolu keibchi komonutiet konyoiset ak chikiletab mionoto. Ole kang'ololi Dr. Bitok eng tuyet noto kayum ofisaek alak che echen kobun kibengeishek cheterter chetinyegei ak konyoisetab konyek ole kiyoe tuyet neo netinyegei ak konyoisetab konyek eng wikit nenyone eng Nairobi asikecheng ortinwek chekikonoptoen tetutik chebo konyoiset ak chikiletab konyek asikoba ng'weny koimutik choto tinyegei ak konyek cheboto cataract noto kikonam biik chechang eng emetab Kenya.
Have trained over around 800 optometrists, and these are specialists who have helped us to manage refractive errors. But unfortunately, at the moment, we've only been able to recruit around 17 in the government hospitals.
There are a lot of people who are in poverty simply because what they need is a surgery that will take around 30 minutes and you have unlocked their lifetime. And that's important for us to know. So that's why we say the value of vision is no longer that eye care is a clinical issue, no. It's a socio-economic agenda.
we work with CHPs, community health promoters, and we train them to screen people at the community level. We leave the more complicated cases to be handled by ophthalmic workers, and train teachers, community health promoters to conduct screening. You know, with this kind of mass screening, we're able to identify these conditions early and prevent avoidable blindness.
Yekitestai ko kakongat Principal Secretary noton nebo kabatishet Dr. Paul Rono chagushekab NCPB ak kibengeit anan kampunit noton nebo serikali nebo Kenya National Trading Corporation KNTC kwal muchelek tugul kubun kabatikab Mwea asikonyor keljin kongololi yekongolumdoi choget noton nebo keswekab muchelek eng Kirogo Farm eng Mwea. Komwa Dr. Rono kole tindoi kabatichotok kuniok 40,000 chebo muchelek ole nyolu keal tugul asikonyor keljin kabatichotok bo muchelek chekokotepto muchelek kwai kosubkei ak nematindoi soket neoldochin muchelek chotok. Bitunitok eng kasarta notok kokakobor kaiweishet kabatichotok bo muchelek kotinygei kakwautiet notok kokakosirto serikali nebo aletab muchelek kubun emotinwek chebo sang ole kokamwa ichek kole makonyoru ichek ole aldechin muchelek kwai kobate kamwa Dr. Rono kole kiole korok muchelek tugul chetindoi kabatikab emoni kotomo keib muchelek kubun emotinwek chotok chebo sang.
Tuko na mchele hapa Mwea. Umeona mchele nikitembea hapo, nikitoka hapo. Nikaona mchele kwa masoko. Nikauliza hawa, hii mchele ni volume gani? Hii yote tukitaka kununua kwa haraka na nguvu. Akasema, hii mchele ni 40,000 bags ya 50 kg. Nikafanya hesabu, hiyo ni 2 million metric tons. Kidogo tu. Kenya mzima siku moja tuna consume 4 million metric tons. Hii ni 2 million metric tons yenye iko Mwea hapa. Ni hapa di. Sasa nini inaendelea hapa? I'm directing the cooperative here. The manager, National Cereals and Produce Board, KNDC, kutoka kesho wawe Nairobi ofisi yangu washughulikie shida ya kulima hapa mpaka tununue hii mchele. Mtu anakaaje hapa Kirinyaga kama wewe ni mkubwa ya cooperative na unaendelea tu na story zako hapo badala ya kuja Nairobi kushughulikia shida ya wakulima. Kutoka kesho nataka kuona hao watu kwa ofisi yangu waniambie shida iko nini. Mpaka wakulima wamezalisha mchele iko hapa tu kwa store na mchele kidogo 2 million kilos, 2 metric tons. The 2,000 metric tons is only half a day consumption in Kenya. Sasa hiyo ni shida ya mkulima au ni shida ya viongozi? Sema ukweli. Si ndivyo? Watu wanakuja hapa kutuambia ati niko na mchele na utakuja Nairobi kusema kuna mchele hii kidogo tununue yote mara moja. Na namwambia wakulima, mkulima huko hata wewe tunakutana na wewe mudu kwa mudu. Mchele yako kama hakuna mtu ananunua, peleka NCPB leo kabla ya kushaka tulipe pesa kesho. Umeelewa hiyo? Nimedirect NCPB, wapi NCPB yako hapa? So, hiyo mchele tuko na pesa ya kununua mchele hizo itashakwa and mill price. Mpango ya National Cereals and Produce Board. Tuko na mpango kununua mchele ile inaitwa mill price through KNTC. So, kwa nini wakulima wanaumewa? Si wakulima wameteswa sana. Na Kiingereza mingi, Kiswahili mingi. Na tunaongea lugha kubwa. Wakulima they want simple things. Nunua mchele yake aende kwa shamba asalishe zingine. Zilivyo au mko na story mingi. Sasa hii kizungumkuti. These people in cooperatives sasa kuongea mengi lakini tumelainisha maneno ya kofi. Tumelainisha maneno ya majani chai. Tumelainisha maneno ya sukari. Sasa hii maneno ya mchele si kujua kuna wakora hata hapa. Lakini kile nimesikia kidogo tutaingia ndani. Tunasema kabla hatuja import tunaona kuna nini kwa store ya local farmers. Ndio tumesema hii store yenu nimesikia tu ni 2000 metric tons. Tunataka kusanya kumalizana na nyinyi mapema muende kwa shamba utusalishe zingine tukuje tusanye yote uende tena kwa shamba mpaka useme hakuna kuimport tena. Na tuwe na mpango mzuri kuendelea mbele. Ninataka kujulisha nyinyi ya kwamba tutalainisha collaboration between farmers of rice and National Cereals and Produce Board, farmers of rice and GNDC, ili mkulima asiteseke.
Kakokoito somet bororietab Okiek chemenye county nebo Nakuru koityi serikalitab emoni kotoret icheket kochengchi meng'otoshek chelelach ako konyit tilet nekikon kapkirwok nebo East Africa Court of Justice nebo kimeng'ishechi icheket kosubkei ak nekikimong eng timdo nebo Mao eng oret nemanyolu. Kosubkei ak bichotok ko kikobun kaimutik cheechen kong'ete kiuito eng timdo nebo Mao ako notok kakoit kasarta nebo kosuldae serikali tilanato bo kapkirwok asikobit konyor mbaret nemenye akoit let kaimutik kwai kou eng report noto nebo Sylvester Rono.
Kakomongkei bororiet nebo Okiek en county nebo Nakuru akomach serikali kosuldae ng'atutiet nekikon kapkirwok nebo East African Court of Justice neking'at serikalit nebo emoni kokochi meng'otoshek bororionoton. Mwae kole kikisto ichek en osnet nebo Mao.
The land Makruring delivered on 26 May 2027 by the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Arusha. This was not merely a legal victory, it was the recognition of truth, dignity, identity, and justice for the Ogieki people.
Kong'ololi en kasarta nekaisuldaen sautik en komosta nebo Naswet, kot neing'ote ng'atutik nebo Njoro komwa kandoik koibun bororionoton bo Okiek kole moche serikali kosuldaen ng'atutiet nekikon kapkirwok nebo East African Court of Justice neking'at serikalitab Kenya kokochi meng'otoshek bororiet nebo Okiek chekimwa kole kikisto ichek en meng'otoshekwak en komosta nebo Eastern Mao.
Naomba tu serikali yetu tukufu tukumbuke na afuate kama maagizo ya koti ambao iliamuru jamii ya Okiek wapewe community land ama ancestral land. Tumekuwa tukifuatilia na tumeenda ofisi hizo zote na hata kusunguka katika counties tukitarajia yote ambao tunasema tumesikizwa na tutafanyiwa.
Hatutaki kusumbuliwa tena na hatutaki pressure tena. Tumetosheka na vile tulienda kotini. Sasa tunaambia kwamba serikali Ruto hatusikia mali yako. Yeye aliongea na the late senator wetu ambaye aliaga na alikuwa ametueleza hata jamii ya Ogiek msiongee sana juu mimi nawajua in and out na hatujui ni nini imefanya Ruto asiita hata jamii ya Ogiek wakuja waongee na pamoja. Juzi tumeform hii ofisi ya minority. Hiyo ndio tunataka ikwe daraja yetu ya mambo yetu ambayo tunaongelelea.
Kates komwa ichek kole maboiboenjin tetutiet netesetai serikali nebo lumdaetab kiwoto nebo osnet ab serikali ak meng'otoshekab biik en kebeberta nebo Eastern Mao en mwaet kole kokisuldaen tetutyonoton komamiten kandoik kobun bororionoton.
Kama vile wamekuwa wakisema ya kwamba Eastern Mao wanatembelewa na surveyor. Sisi kama jamii Ogiek hatuko consulted, hatujui ni nini surveyor wanakuja kufanya. So tunaomba serikali yetu ikiongozwa na Our Excellency William Samoei Ruto ya kwamba sisi kama jamii Ogiek tupewe kwanza, tuambiwe ni nini ile ardhi ya jamii tunahitaji. Kwanza tuambiwe vizuri na tuelimishwe na tujue sheria imesema nini. Lakini ningetaka kuomba masenators, wabunge wale wako nchi ya hapa Njoro hii ama Molo na Njoro, kama kuna senator anatoka other county, ningeomba leo ya kwamba ashughulikie mambo ya kaunti yake, awachane na
Kongeten county nebo Nakuru, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Sylvester Rono.
Kongewege agoi sugulit noton nebo Belgut Technical Training Institute eng county nebo Kericho ole tesetai graduation netai nebo sugulit noton ole nengololi nguno ko MP nebo Belgut noton ko Sonko ko noton ko ngebe kegas agobo kit ne ngololen eng graduation noton.
Together as a constituency, because what we need to do is to improve the welfare of our people. That is exactly what we need to do. I don't want to take my time, Honorable CS. That is the message that I needed to give. Big up ka. Good it. Uchamage korone. Umigo mie. Angena ole marwa Ingereza zaidi. Lakini nan gandangi mi graduation ochamwana mangale going. Kamwale kigebun olelo akangena ole misi kikabwaro akobo graduation jebola akokwa. Kigebun olelo embanda ne kigebwan en constituency ni Belgut TTI. Ni amacha we kigongoi principal arab korir. Amacha we kigongoi kamati nebo Belgut TTI. Ak biik tugul che kikogo support kotko en betutab raini ketinye lagok 2,000 che graduated. Lagok kikonet ke kasisiekab eunek che karon ko cheget che sire biik ak kosirge kondege boisionik. Notok kit ne kemoche keyai ak kewekyi kongoi biik che kikeboisie tugul. Biik che kikebwan tugul bani. Bani ko kikokoit ne betutab raini kangeit rou ko katebena minister kole ako TTI noni ana kimiten university. Angamun tuguk che kikowalak en sugulini. Amache akono hakikisho nenyun ale orani kole yokichobe serikalitab William Arap Ruto komobe kenyini nebo TTI kowale institution nenyon nebo Belgut TTI. Kimache kewal maisha nebo lagokyok. Kimache kewal sobetab lagokyok. Kimache raini konyor borotet lagokab Belgut singomondo bichu 2,000 kobokotiny korikwak ak kotiny korik alak. Kimache keboisien somanet, kimache keboisien serikali, kimache keboisien kimnotet nekitinye nguni kewal sobetab bikyok deliberately. Kit ne kiamwawok ak ateseke amwawok kialeo kenyisiek chumut chubo Arap Ruto awale constituency nenyon nebo Belgut. Belgut nenyon nguni ko kwamwa ako amache awekyi kongoi waziri Kipchumba Murkomen. Ki inende nekinomwe komyeit kotko nguni en Belgut ko negisi keker kampunisiekab kambut angamun kokebe open shoes. Ko kongoi en inye nekiyotwe komye. Kiyeku kipyator nebo manit ak amache ale kongoi. Konyitenju angamun ka graduation raini matongo changa ngalek namwa kityo ale muguleldo ko abaibai. Okwek 2,000 biik ko graduate en betutab raini. Ngo tinyo kiptaya, ngo boisien ak obo boisien eunekwo, oboisien tuguk chikokineta, owal emoni, owal Belgut, ak owal Kenya, ak oeku tait nebo Belgut Institute, angamun koeku tait ne okwek chikoeku kipyator nebo sugulini. Obago bor ako kosoywok mieindo en korikwok, mieindo en lagokwok, mieindo en boisionikwok, mieindo en eunekwok, ak oeku biik che karon ketienge emoni bo Kenya. Moutien any kigesu obwat nebo emet William Kipchirchir Samoei Arap Ruto. Amache aker 2 term chebo president. Bas, ko chechu komakiole long term ana kiole ne? Acha makas Kipchumba komye. Ukole ne? Makas kora Kipchumba komye. Kole ne? Kwa wale hawajasikia wamesema kila maneno iko sawa sawa, tunangojea mvua itakuja mwaka ujao. So allow me now to introduce I want to give the majority leader, but let me say this, so that because, you know, tumechukua nafasi ya Waziri Murkomen. So sitaki, yeye ni wa interior. Na tutaki kuchukua nafasi nyingi. We also have these graduates that we want to.
Konoto ko graduation netai nebo sukulitab Belgut Technical Training Institute nemite Belgut eng county nebo Kericho ole nakatare kong'ololi eng yo ko MP nebo Belgut Nelson Koech Sonko nekakomwa kole tesetai ine kokonoptoi tetutikab somanet eng kebeberatak asikonyor keljin lagok kobun county nebo Kericho ak mising ko kebeberta nebo Belgut neindochin ine ole mitei koratak kandoik chechang ole totab kondit ko minister noton nebo somanet Kipchumba Murkomen ole mito kora majority leader eng Senate Aaron Cheruyot ak kandoik alak cheterter ko koyotok ko kakeit let eng logoiwekab emet ak tetutiet noton nebo Mashinani eng betutab raini nekomite tuwai kwane Bernard Tanui amagon kit age tugul nemie testai iker Kass TV amu kimnotet naet.